As we have stated many times on this channel, one of the absolute most important years in the entire history of firearms, especially when speaking of the distant Wild West, is the monumental year of 1873. Because in this specific year, weapons and calibers see the light of day that became completely key to the brutal conquest of the frontier and the future of all firearms. The most famous ones, which almost all of us know, are the formidable Springfield rifle and its massively powerful caliber, the .45-70 Government. The universally renowned Colt Single Action Army, much better known as the Peacemaker, and its immortal caliber, the .45 Colt. And finally, the most famous and relevant of them all, and the true subject of this video, the legendary Winchester Model 1873, and its iconic .44-40 Winchester caliber. The Winchester Model 1873 is born directly from the mechanical evolution of the Winchester Model 1866, famously known as the Yellowboy. In reality, they are practically identical rifles, but with a few crucial mechanical improvements in the 1873 model. The most notable of all is the complete change of material in its receiver. As you can see at first glance, the older 1866 model was forged from a brass alloy that turned it a bright yellow, hence its nickname, Yellowboy. However, the 1873 model was already forged entirely from solid steel, making it vastly more resistant to the harsh elements. They also added a clever trigger safety mechanism, an interlock ensuring the weapon could not be fired by accident until the shooter fully closed the lever. Furthermore, they installed a sliding dust cover on the top to carefully protect the ejection port from dirt and mud, which opened automatically when operating the heavy lever. And something incredibly useful was the addition of side plates on the receiver. This allowed frontiersmen to easily access the interior of the mechanism, ensuring a thorough and proper cleaning of the weapon's vital parts out in the field. The rest was practically the same. The toggle link action and other internal mechanisms had remained largely unchanged ever since the original Henry rifle, and the actual operation was practically identical to the previous 1866 Winchester. But the absolute resounding success of the Winchester 1873 relies entirely on its caliber. The .44 Winchester Center Fire, also widely known as the .44-40, both the 1860 Henry rifle and the 1866 Winchester were chambered in the .44 Henry rimfire caliber, a notably low-power cartridge that only carried 28 grains of black powder and fatally did not allow the shooter to reload their own spent ammunition. Out on the unforgiving frontier, where isolated towns and gunsmiths were incredibly scarce, reloading was a matter of life and death. So, Winchester's brilliant engineers created the .44-40 Winchester, a modern cartridge that carried a full 40 grains of black powder, therefore almost doubling the sheer power of the old .44 Henry. In addition to being a centerfire cartridge, which perfectly allowed for hand reloading. Furthermore, the Winchester Company itself cleverly released a portable hand tool to the market, allowing you to easily reload and reuse your own brass casings anywhere on the harsh frontier. If you want to know more about this specific caliber, we have a deeply detailed video on the channel. Although it is worth noting that the older .44 Henry, while much less powerful, was a slightly shorter cartridge. Therefore, both the 1866 and the Henry 1860 usually boasted a slightly larger magazine capacity than the new Winchester model. The advantages of this new rifle were more than clear. You had a massive ammunition capacity. Depending on the exact variant, its capacity varied between 12 and 16 cartridges. It was incredibly fast to fire, quite reliable, and highly accurate up to 100 meters. Its caliber offered medium power, and the ammunition was incredibly easy to find. In addition, the Winchester Company offered 3 standard variants of this rifle. The shortest was the carbine, a light and incredibly easy-to-handle weapon for horseback. Then you had the rifle version, which was the absolute bestseller of them all, perfectly balanced for short and medium distances. And the musket version, designed with the pure intention of convincing a military army to adopt it, featuring a larger ammunition capacity and the ability to attach a lethal bayonet. However, if you were willing to pay a hefty sum of money, you could completely customize your rifle to the maximum. From the exact barrel length, the premium quality of the wood, specialized types of sights, intricate custom engravings, and you could even request to shorten the tubular magazine to significantly lighten the rifle, albeit losing ammo capacity. The possibilities were truly enormous. But all that glitters is not gold, and it also had a severe disadvantage. The main one was its incredibly high price. It was practically the most advanced piece of technology of its time. It barely had any real competition, and since the demand was simply enormous, absolutely everyone wanted one, which drove its price up even further. Therefore, while its original catalog price hovered around $35, the salary of nearly 2 solid months for a normal worker, out in the distant far west, where suppliers took much longer to arrive and stock was virtually non-existent, this rifle could easily cost a staggering $50. And even though it was a blazingly fast rifle to reload and fire, it was not among the most powerful. Due to its inherently weak toggle link mechanism, its caliber severely lost accuracy and terminal power beyond the 100-meter mark. Therefore, professional hunters or long-range marksmen deeply preferred much more powerful calibers, like those found in the Sharps, Springfield, or heavy Remington rifles. Regardless, the sales of this rifle simply never stopped growing. It was the absolute best-selling repeating rifle in the nation. Therefore, many manufacturers of handguns and revolvers, like Remington, Smith & Wesson, and especially Colt, quickly released their own weapons chambered in the .44-40 caliber. This brilliant synergy meant that anyone who owned a Winchester 1873 rifle could seamlessly carry the exact same ammunition for their revolver on their hip, thereby increasing the sales of both weapons even further. The Winchester Model 1873 was eventually manufactured in other popular calibers, such as the .38-40 Winchester, the .32-20 Winchester, and a very few rare units in .22 long rifle. Of course, the absolute bestseller was always the .44-40. However, all the other calibers enjoyed their own significant success. In total, more than 700,000 units were manufactured, from 1873 all the way up to the 1920s, when its production finally ceased. And that is considering that in the year 1892, Winchester released the Winchester 1892, a vastly more robust rifle that allowed the use of the same calibers as the 1873, but could handle significantly more powerful cartridges loaded with the newly invented smokeless powder, effectively rendering the old Winchester Model 1873 mechanically obsolete. As curious historical facts, it is worth noting that the Winchester Model 1873 was the very first Winchester rifle to proudly bear its year of manufacture right behind its name. Because the previous model, the Yellowboy, although today we universally know it as the Model 1866, was originally known to the public simply as the Winchester rifle and nothing more. We can also say that the Winchester 1873 saw a brief period of active service in the Army of Spain, where they were officially known as the Tercerola Winchester. Currently, the modern Winchester company has occasionally manufactured this rifle in small batches, and the Italian company Uberti is the absolute largest manufacturer of 1873 reproductions. They produce an infinite number of variants with truly excellent quality and precision, using far better metallurgical materials than the originals and in a massive variety of calibers. From the classic .44-40 to the heavy-hitting .357 and .44 Magnum, and even the .45 Colt, since the original was strangely never manufactured in that specific caliber, among many others. Cinema has given this rifle an incredibly disproportionate level of fame, most notably in the classic James Stewart film Winchester 73, where this magnificent rifle is the absolute, undisputed protagonist, as well as in much more modern westerns like Open Range or the gritty series 1883, among an absolute infinity of other films. In the realm of video games, it has gone somewhat more unnoticed. In massive Western games like the Red Dead saga, it simply does not appear, and instead, older Henry rifles or much less utilized models take the spotlight. However, where we can aggressively use it in a ton of different tactical variants is in the unforgiving video game Hunt Showdown. In conclusion, a true rifle of absolute legend. Widely utilized across the bloody frontier, from the relentless Texas Rangers or the Mexican rurales, all the way to lone hunters and deadly gunslingers. Being fiercely wielded by colossal historical figures like Buffalo Bill or the infamous Billy the Kid. A rifle deeply desired by absolutely everyone, yet resting in the hands of only a lucky few. But even so, I am entirely sure that if they could speak, they could tell us grand, terrifying stories and recount epic shootouts where these massive .44 caliber rifles forcefully impose their own brand of law and their own swift justice.